20 this Sunday in your consumer news. This month, President Trump set to impose some tariffs against some of our close foreign trading partners. Tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports. They were supposed to go into effect early in February, but they've been delayed for 30 days. Both countries have said if those tariffs do happen, they would impose their own tariffs on American goods in retaliation. Local financial professional Jon Lawton from Open Air Advisors is with us this Sunday morning to discuss just what these potential sanctions could mean for consumers and the economy. John, I appreciate you waking up with us on this Sunday.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning.
Before we get into it, let's talk about what tariffs actually are, because they have been part of the conversation for a little while now, but some folks are kind of confused about how they actually work.
Yeah, tariffs are just a tax on imported goods. Currently, like you said, we have active tariffs on both China, aluminum, and steel. And then currently the 25% tariff on both Canada and Mexico have been delayed for the time being until March.
Well, let's talk about the effect on American consumers, because I think certain politicians will argue, hey, you know what, these are the price of doing business. American consumers may think otherwise.
Yeah, the effect, you think of the aluminum tariffs, really anything that you drink out of an aluminum can, if the cost of that aluminum is going up, the cost of things is going to be going up. There is about $7,000 worth of steel and aluminum inside any car that's being made. And so if those costs are rising, cost of automobiles is going to rise as well. The tariffs going to Mexico are about 25%. If those get enacted in March, about half of our fruit and about 2/3 of our vegetables are coming from Mexico. So look to see those costs rise as well.
And Wall Street has been reacting as well. What has that been?
When they announced the Canada-Mexico tariffs, they announced them really on Friday, and over the weekend we had a lot of volatility in the S&P 500 and in the Dow. By Monday, trading partners were talking, and so the market had a really big drawdown. By the afternoon, we had negotiations, and the market rallied because we were delaying those tariffs. I think right now what we're trying to see through is what amount of these tariffs is a negotiation tactic and what is real that we need to be implementing.
Well, I think what's been tricky, too, is we saw what we thought were some concessions from Canada and Mexico, although it turned out later that they were just announcing things they'd already planned to do. So we'll see if that's what happens again when these are set to go into effect after that delay. But I know the goal ultimately is to equalize trading between companies, or at least try to get them closer to each other and to spur development here in the United States. But it seems like it's just more complicated than that, right? You just can't snap your fingers and have American factories pop up everywhere.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that we're seeing for the people that we work with today is, for those of us that are looking at this and seeing the volatility in the market coming from tariffs, we've had 2 years of 20% gains in the S&P 500. And a lot of the folks that are coming into our office are pre-retirees and retirees, and looking at that and expecting that to continue. If these do get enacted and we do see a decrease in the global GDP and the economy starts to suffer, a lot of the folks need to take a look back at their retirement and look at their accounts to say, are you meeting the level of risk that you're supposed to be taking? At Open Air Advisors, we do what's called a portfolio deconstruction to understand the different risks that you're taking inside your portfolio. And we'd be happy to do that for any of the people listening here today.
Maybe a time for some rebalancing ahead of these tariffs, perhaps. All right,
Exactly.
Jon Lawton from Open Air Advisors, thank you for sharing your insight on your Sunday morning with us.
Great. Thanks so much, Mark.